This video is sponsored by InVideo AI. July 2018, just outside Paris. In a daring move that defied the norms of prison breaks, an unexpected jailbreak disrupts the tranquility of Rayo Prison, not with the usual means of evasion, but through the air, using an Aerospatiale Alouette 2 helicopter. The helicopter, piloted by a hostage flight instructor, and globally known for its exceptional agility and compact design, makes a precision landing in the tight confines of the prison courtyard. The Alouette 2, a rotary wing aircraft celebrated during the Cold War for being the first turbine-powered craft, now becomes an instrument of escape. It swiftly airlifts the infamous gangster Redouane Faïd to freedom. In less than 10 minutes, the operation is executed with precision and efficiency, showcasing the helicopter's remarkable capabilities and Fenestron tail rotor, which minimizes noise and reduces the risk of damage during close-quarters maneuvering. Faïd disappears into the horizon on the Alouette 2, still airworthy and versatile after almost 80 years of showing the world what solid engineering and careful design can accomplish. Bringing the stories of aviation history to life isn't just about knowing the facts. It's about creating compelling visuals that capture the power and majesty of these incredible machines. But let's be honest, creating high-quality videos can feel like you're flying a B-29 Superfortress solo. It's a lot to manage. So, allow InVideo AI to be your trusted co-pilot in video creation. Much more than just a video editor, InVideo AI is the world's most used AI video creator, helping you with the painstaking tasks of scripting, editing, and finding relevant footage so you can bring your ideas to life using simple text prompts. Let us show you how it works. We typed in a prompt to create a video about the Cold War's most secretive spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird. Watch what InVideo AI came up with in just minutes. Impressive, right? And that's just scratching the surface. With more detailed prompts, you can create even more tailored content. You can input your own script, and InVideo AI will produce a finished video by itself. Not convinced by the result? Simply hit regenerate, and you'll get a fresh take. The edit command box is where InVideo AI really shines. Need to change the intro? Done. Want better footage of a P-51 Mustang dogfighting? Just ask. Want to translate your video about the Battle of Britain into German? It's as easy as flipping a switch in a Spitfire's cockpit. With InVideo AI, you can make up to 4 videos for free. But if you plan to create truly Top Gun content, we highly recommend the paid plan. Starting at just $20 a month, it removes the watermark, gives you access to the groundbreaking voice cloning feature, and unlocks millions of royalty-free, high-quality stock footage clips, which would undoubtedly cost hundreds of dollars if sourced individually. Go to the link in the description and use our code DARKSKIES50 to get twice the number of video generation credits in your first month. Try InVideo AI today and start creating your own captivating visual stories of aviation history. The skies over Europe buzzed with a new sound in the early 20th century. As World War I raged, fixed-wing aircraft soared into prominence. Their wings cutting through clouds as they performed reconnaissance, dropped bombs, and engaged in aerial combat. The major powers quickly recognized the potential of these flying machines, integrating them into their military strategies with devastating effect. But as the dust of the Great War settled, a new revolution in aviation was quietly taking shape. World War II saw the introduction of a strange new aircraft, one that could hover, move backward, and land in tight spaces. The rotary wing aircraft, or helicopter, had arrived on the world stage. While not as immediately impactful as their fixed-wing cousins, helicopters would soon prove their worth. In the dense jungles of Far East Asia, the Sikorsky R-4, the first mass-produced helicopter, began to showcase the unique capabilities of rotary wing flight. It slipped behind enemy lines, inserting operatives with precision, and plucked wounded soldiers from perilous situations, saving countless lives in daring search and rescue operations. The war's end didn't halt progress. If anything, it accelerated it. Aircraft companies, their resources no longer consumed by wartime production, turned their attention to pushing the boundaries of helicopter design. They dreamed of machines more robust, more agile, capable of feats their predecessors could only imagine. Just as the Sikorsky R-4 had ushered in the age of practical helicopters, another aircraft was poised to redefine rotary wing aviation, the Aerospatiale Alouette 2. In the workshops of French manufacturer Aerospatiale, a collaboration was brewing. Together with engine specialist Turbomeca, they embarked on an ambitious project, breaking free from the limitations of piston engines that had long constrained helicopter performance. They envisioned a machine that would soar beyond these boundaries, powered by the promising new technology of turbine engines. For their new groundbreaking design, the two French companies looked to the SE-3120 Alouette 1, a three-seater helicopter with standard design, comprising a single primary and tail rotor configuration that first flew in 1951. Despite a good performance, it offered nothing new compared to other helicopters, such as the Bell 47 and the Hillary UH-12. Piston engines were low power and heavy, significantly limiting the potential capabilities of helicopters. Aerospatiale and Turbomeca truly believed that turboshaft engines were the next leap in helicopter technology and set to work to achieve a first with the Alouette 2. Eventually, their hard work paid off with the introduction of the Alouette 2 turboshaft engine that generated over 400 horsepower. The Alouette 2 featured a one-stage centrifugal compressor and a two-stage turbine, which meant that the power was transferred through a shaft to the rotor of a helicopter, making it more advanced and efficient than piston engines. Overall, the Alouette 2 featured better thermal efficiency, generating higher thrust, and thus faster speeds and improved fuel economy. Furthermore, the mechanical simplicity of the engine resulted in fewer parts than piston engines, saving space and weight, and making the Alouette 2 more agile. Another innovative feature was the helicopter's lightweight airframe, which allowed for greater agility and efficiency in the air. This was achieved by using advanced materials and design techniques that reduced weight without compromising the structural integrity of the helicopter. The five-seater airframe comprised the cabin, the center frame, and the tail boom. The cabin featured a metal frame supporting plexiglass panels for the canopy, and two large metal frame doors providing an all-around view for the pilot and up to 4 passengers. The instrument console was positioned directly on the aircraft's centerline, enhancing the ergonomics and accessibility of flight controls and instrumentation. The floor comprised cargo tie-down fittings to secure loads and a hatch to conduct aerial reconnaissance operations. Overall, the helicopter could carry over 500 kilograms of internal load. Besides being the first helicopter fitted with the turbine engine, the Alouette 2 was among the first to feature a fully articulated central rotor system. This system allowed each blade to move independently, significantly improving the helicopter's maneuverability and handling characteristics. This was particularly beneficial for precision tasks, such as mountain rescues and light urban operations, where traditional helicopters struggled. The landing gear of the Alouette 2 included 2 flexing cross tubes equipped with hydraulic shock struts that absorbed the impact upon landing. The skids, made from duraluminum tubes reinforced with a thin steel sheet and curved upward, were connected by 2 steel cross tubes affixed to the center section. All of this was delivered in a relatively small package. The Alouette 2 had a length of 9.7 meters, a width of 10.2 meters, and weighed over 900 kilograms. The prototype of the Aerospatiale Alouette 2, designated SE-3130, took to the skies for the first time on March 12, 1955, with great success, proving that its lightweight design and turboshaft engine was the next leap in helicopter technology. Piston engine rotary wing aircraft were now a thing of the past. On June 6, 1955, the first pre-production Alouette 2 was completed, turning it into the first production turbine-powered helicopter in the world. Seeking to test the limits of the aircraft, renowned aviator Jean Boulet took the plane to the French mountains, setting an impressive altitude record of 8,209 meters. Almost a year later, the first production Alouette 2 rolled out of the factory, with the company dispatching it once again for more testing across the vast French Alps. In July 1956, before it even made its way to the civilian sector, the Alouette 2 proved its worth in a daring high-altitude rescue. It flew above the French Alps to over 4,000 meters, where the pilot rescued a mountaineer suffering cardiac arrest, marking the first time a helicopter was used in such a mission. This feat showcased the Alouette 2's exceptional capabilities in high-altitude operations, where the thin air and unpredictable weather had previously posed insurmountable challenges for rotary wing aircraft. As the premier for high-altitude and rescue operations, the French helicopter was again called to action in January 1957 under similar conditions. Under the foul weather of Mont Blanc, the Alouette 2 was deployed to rescue the crew of a Kras Sikorsky S-58, which had itself been on a mission to locate missing mountaineers. As expected, the Alouette 2 and its turboshaft engine delivered, rescuing and extracting the wounded men safely. These high-profile rescues demonstrated the Alouette 2's pivotal role in mountain rescue operations, saving lives in environments where few helicopters could triumph. After successful trials and rescue missions, the Alouette 2 was awarded a government airworthiness certificate, clearing it for the civilian market and initial production with the French armed forces. By late 1957, the first batches of Alouette 2 helicopters were delivered to the French Army and several European allies such as Germany, Austria, Spain, and the United Kingdom. As soon as the Alouette 2 entered service with the French forces, it became a crucial asset in the ongoing Algerian War. This conflict marked a significant period in the nation's effort to retain its crumbling colonial empire. The brand new Alouettes were thrust into the heart of combat operations, where their versatility was tested in the challenging conditions of North Africa. Deployed extensively throughout the conflict, the Alouette 2's capabilities as a troop transport became invaluable. It could airlift up to 4 fully armed soldiers and additional supplies, demonstrating outstanding efficiency in maneuvering through the rugged Algerian terrain and enhancing the mobility of the outnumbered French ground forces. This adaptability made the helicopter an essential tool in the quick deployment and extraction of troops in combat missions where men required medical evacuation or were about to be overrun by the local guerrilla forces. All these new tactics and exploits of the helicopter were a significant leap from the initial deployment of helicopters during the last days of World War II and the Korean War. Almost a decade later, the American military took inspiration from France's use of helicopters for their own use during the Vietnam War, marking once again another leap in the use of helicopters in warfare. Furthermore, the Alouette 2 saw an innovative adaptation that set a precedent in aerial warfare. Several units were modified to act as the world's first helicopter gunships. These modified Alouette 2s were typically armed with Nord Aviation-built SS-10 or SS-11 anti-tank missiles, marking a significant evolution in helicopter use in combat. This transformation allowed the French forces to engage the enemy in a new form of warfare, providing direct and mobile fire support against ground targets and adding a lethal capability to their aerial operations. The second nation to deploy the Alouette 2 for combat operations was Rhodesia. The Army and the British South Africa Police extensively used rotary wing aircraft to conduct surveillance and military operations over their territories. As the conflicts in the region escalated in the early 1960s, the helicopters were deployed in more aggressive roles against hostile forces, decimating their lines with utter effectiveness thanks to improvised equipment. Rhodesian personnel added more machine guns, gun sights, and armor plating to deal with ground-to-air fire coming from the enemy. Such modifications proved successful over the battlefield, as the Alouette 2 could take a beating as long as its wings were not put out of action. The Rhodesian pilots also innovated with new air tactics for counterinsurgency operations. Known as Fire Force, this was a rapid deployment tactic designed to encircle and neutralize enemy forces quickly. This approach emphasized speed and agility, where the Alouette 2's capabilities excelled in overcoming the enemy. Based in strategically important locations like Centenary and Mount Darwin, the Quick Reaction Fire Force battalions were positioned to respond swiftly to enemy movements. The Alouette 2 enabled these forces to maintain a high readiness level, ensuring that rotorcraft and troops could immediately be deployed to the heart of the conflict zones. This strategy not only maximized the effectiveness of the operations, but also demonstrated the significant tactical advantages provided by the Alouette 2. The harsh and hot climate of the region did not stop the aircraft from excelling in combat. Additional fuel caches were added to the helicopter, and supply stations were established around the operations area to extend the French helicopter's range. Nonetheless, the Alouette 2 still retained its primary roles of supporting and recovering wounded personnel, extracting them to safety, while expanding cabin fittings where specialists attended soldiers. In July 2018, the Alouette 2 once again captured the world's attention, this time for an unexpected reason. The stage was set at Rayo Prison, where the summer heat hung heavy in the air. Little did anyone know that this unassuming day would soon erupt into a spectacle of daring and controversy. The peace was shattered by the familiar thrum of rotor blades. An Alouette 2, its compact frame gleaming, descended with precision into the prison's confined courtyard. Inside, French gangster Redouane Faïd watched as the helicopter touched down. In a blur of motion, Faïd was whisked aboard. The Alouette 2 lifted off, its agile frame clearing the prison walls with ease. Minutes ticked by. The prison alarm blared, but it was too late. The Alouette 2 was already touching down in Roissy, its mission accomplished in less than 10 minutes. As the dust settled, investigators pieced together the events and uncovered a meticulously planned operation. The pilot was taken hostage and forced to participate in the rescue at gunpoint. The Alouette 2, chosen for its maneuverability and compact size, had proved crucial to the audacious escape. The abandoned helicopter sat in Roissy, a silent testament to the day's events. As media crews swarmed and security experts debated, the Alouette 2 stood as a reminder. Nearly 70 years after its introduction, this versatile aircraft had once again proven its capabilities, for better or worse. The legacy of the Alouette 2, which concluded its production in 1975, after over 1,300 units were built, marked a significant chapter in the history of rotary wing aviation. Having been operated by 50 militaries and deployed in over 80 countries, this iconic French helicopter revolutionized aerial operations with its advanced technology and versatility and set a high standard for subsequent designs. Eventually replaced by successors like the Llama and the Aerospatiale A5350 Écureuil, the Alouette 2's influence persists in the design principles and operational strategies that continue to shape modern aviation. Its remarkable service record across diverse global contexts cements its place as a truly groundbreaking craft that bridged past advancements with future innovations in helicopter technology of the Cold War. Dark Skies would like to thank InVideo AI for its sponsorship. Remember, you can double your amount of video generation credits in your first month by following the link in the description and using the code DARKSKIES50. Take your videos to new heights with InVideo AI.